things. In the only way that can truly demand the life from you, and that is in service to the spirit of the West. About the heroes of Western time. Throughout all of our history. Read about the heroes of Western throughout all of our history. In the midst of combat, bullets flying by, they were able to maintain their composure, and they knew that if their time was called, they will have given their life in the most worthy of all things, in the only way that can truly demand the life from you, and that is in service to the spirit of the West. Flying by, they were able to maintain their composure, and they knew that if their time was called, they will have given their life in the most worthy of all things, in the only way that can truly demand the life from you, and that is in service to the spirit of the West. Western time. Throughout all of our history. In the midst of combat, bullets flying by.
The Republican Party is the party of the Latino. It is the party of family. It is the party of faith. It is the party of the American dream. That's what Latinos are about. My husband is Latino, my children are Latino, I'm just a gringo, okay?
I never hate my race, but until recently I didn't know history class was jacked completely. Found my new family with the team going free. My old family doesn't understand me, cause I am so pro-white. No coke, no Sprite, I am rolling with the bubbly, gonna be more white. I saw them twist history right before my very eyes. Insurrection Day, it's in the book and it's all lies. But now I am alive and well to tell it. But will generations down the line be able to sell it? I've always been a thinker on the search for both sides, but they label me an outcast and they cannot tell me why. Guess I'm just a black sheep, white boy who doesn't hesitate to make a lot of fucking noise. I'm the black sheep, white boy, and I wouldn't change a thing if I ever had the choice. Cause the red's the color I bleed. Yes, we all do. make them not hire me. Even in the countries where I'm the minority. Is my race just that awesome and no other could compete? Is that what the anti-whites are trying to tell me? Why am I always seen as such a threat? To the point they wanna strip me down till there's nothing left. Old friends from high school, man, I haven't kept one. But I got a new crew and it's where I belong. Cause if you ain't going free, you ain't rolling with me. And there are even anti-whites in my own family. But I am the one who's comfortable with myself. I try to save them from the hate so wildly raising hell. Cause I'm the black sheep, white boy who doesn't hesitate to make a lot of fucking noise. I'm the black sheep, white boy, I wouldn't change a thing if I ever had the choice. Cause the red's the color I bleed. Yes, we all do bleed red. I have to protect my family. That Scotland is too white, is Nigeria too black? Don't get your panties in a bunch, cause I have the right to ask. See, I'm the black sheep, cause I call it hypocrisy. And the media will give you emotions, but they will not give you honesty. Yeah, you have your feelings, but I have the crime rate. And I'ma shoot to kill if there's a danger my way. So I do not blame the cops, just the ones who are cowards, who hesitate to pull the trigger unless it is one of ours. Cause he's a black sheep, white boy who doesn't hesitate to make a lot of fucking noise. I'm the black sheep, white boy, and I wouldn't change a thing if I ever had the choice. Cause the red's the color I bleed. Yes, we all do bleed red. I have to protect my family. So I'm gonna find people to death.
help our people go free. I guess so too like to see. I'm just trying to help our people go free. I'm just like to see. You're too right. I'm just trying to see. Go free. I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to help our people go free.
Good evening, America. I'm Jason, and you are watching Jason Goes Political. For the sake of continuity, all financial gifts $19 or less will be reserved for the end of the show, $20 or higher, and I will read as soon as I see them. You may financially gift at Entropy, at Odyssey, and at Cash App. The URLs for all are in the description below. You may tag me over the course of this show, epic as it is, as No White Guilt in any of the live chats, and I will be able to see you there. Our first action item of the day is to get on over to the anti-white terrorist we dubbed Darrell Brooks the anti-white terrorist before anyone else, and then others picked it up as they should. Right now, they are reading out, the judge is reading out to him and the jury the conclusions that the jury can come to, and there are a great many people watching over there live at this very moment. And how many does it say? 111,000 are watching live. If you jump on over there, you write catch No White Guilt YouTube live, and that goes up. Something short because the chat is rolling quickly. I will be able to see what you post over there. Thanks to everyone who has already participated in this action item. This is indeed how we're going to be able to grow our audience. Just this past weekend, we grew the audience by 40 plus subs by folks jumping into these other live chats as part of an action item and spreading the message of the good work we are doing here, the actual transformative work that we are doing here, not just doom documenting what's going on in this once great United States, not just observing, not just doom dissecting, trying to ascertain who exactly is behind it, not just doom divining, where all is this going to go? How bad will it get? I have a worse scenario than you do. And so listen to him. I've got a new novelty take on who's behind it and how bad it's going to get. We don't do that here. We actually dig in as men and women of the West and change the world. We've been changing lives. We've saved people from suicide. Families have been started specifically. Two children named after me, more to come, by the way, and that's because of the great work that we are doing here in service to white well-being, transformative work, recapturing the destiny of Western kind, as has never been done before. A truly remarkable thing, people coming together across the continents, Western civilization around the globe and having conversations, talking about how to recapture our destiny. Never before has there been a single idea, in this case, a single practice in service to white well-being, the Go Free method that has brought together men and women of the West, of our countries around the world. It's never happened before. It's happening here, and we're having success everywhere. Be a part of history, the history that will be written by our descendants, which will live because we did. God bless everybody who is here today. Great to see Euro Yankee, Jason, Art Acrobats, JC Denton. Please, Great Franklin is with us. Euro Yankee, St. Thomas. Great to see you. God bless. He says, James is here. Please share. Rory is here. Please share the URL for this show while we are together in your circles of influence. Otherwise, there isn't a hope in hell of spreading the good work that we are doing here in service to white well-being. I understand that there is also the possibility of some debates tonight, particularly between Fetterman and Oz. I don't know if it's already begun. I don't see anything here on YouTube yet. If you see Mestizo Carve saying, if YouTube unsubscribed you from the channel, remember to resub. Yeah, be aware of that. The anti-whites of YouTube are doing that all the time. So be aware of that and let other folks know that as well. There's supposed to be some debates. If the debates are going to be shared live on YouTube and if the live chats are going to be running, please, somebody reach out, tag me repeatedly in the live chat until I see it, and we will switch the action item over to one of those debates. I think there is maybe one somewhere. Franklin's saying the link isn't working for people, the link that I shared earlier. Let me post it again. Try that link. I just grabbed that from the channel. Again, let me know if these debates begin, and we will address that, move the action item over to sharing the work that we are doing here in those live chats. I thought the debate was supposed to start at 7, but it could be running behind. Let's go ahead and get into our first item of today. False flag. Russia says Ukraine plans to detonate a dirty bomb. I don't believe that Russia really believes that Ukraine would do it, but clearly the smart thing to do here would be to say that Ukraine would potentially be behind a false flag. Says Ukraine plans to detonate a dirty bomb. Ukraine responds by calling the allegation absurd and dangerous as concerns over an escalation in the war rise. This is the thing right now across the West. It's too bad that we didn't have Biden, and then who was that? What was that woman's name? Also in the Biden's regime, that said 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 10 months ago that they were going to put an end to the pipeline from Russia, and then it ends up happening. You can go and check that out for yourself. Those videos are pretty widespread, so it might be my opinion. It's my opinion until you find the videos of them saying that, both of those people saying that. Check that out, because then the pipelines get destroyed from Russia to Europe carrying natural gas, and you end up in a scenario where the United States, the anti-white oligarchs on this side of that war, that endless war of our brothers, the anti-white oligarchs on this side claim Russia did it. What are they saying now? What are they saying as the thing that would benefit them immensely in their struggle against the anti-white oligarchs in Russia is the detonation not of an actual nuclear bomb, but of a dirty bomb. So a high yield conventional weapon, though, would be packed with radioactive material. Perhaps, what was the name of that? Zaporizhzhia, I think, or something like this, factory. They would take it from there. They would load it in. It would go off. The the radiation would die down in 48 hours, and then the United States and the rest could say, this, Russia did this, and this is just my opinion, I'm speculating here, Russia did this, and now it's warranted to send in. And now the populations, remember the populations of a country vis-a-vis the anti-white oligarchs, and that's where it matters for us, where the rubber meets the road. The populations are like a tiger or like a lion, or you could pick an animal depending upon how pathetic the population has become. But that's essentially what they are. So that's a wild animal, and you never truly have it domesticated. It can turn on you. It can destroy itself. It can destroy its environment. No zookeeper wants the lion to end up mauling and chewing itself up, or a zookeeper wanted exotic birds pulling all of its feathers out. So they need this justification on a bigger scale. They need people to submit to something that is clearly illogical, wrong, immoral, etc., unethical. And so something like this would absolutely serve the agenda of the anti-white oligarchs in charge of US, Canada, UK, Germany, France, et al., Italy, etc. But it would not help Russia whatsoever, because Russia would only use, in my opinion, tactical nuclear weapons on the battlefield if they needed to do so to survive. Why is that? Because the prevailing winds blow all of the radiation in the direction of Russia, in the direction of some of the most fantastic homes of anti-white Russian oligarchs on planet Earth. It blows the radiation in that direction. It's the kind of radiation that doesn't go away for a very long time. So the use of tactical nuclear weapons would only be used, in my opinion, as a last resort for the anti-white oligarchs, also not the good guys in Russia, not the good guys on this side, not the good guys on that side. Are we getting ready to see? If not now, then are we getting ready to see it when it comes to the 2024 elections? Do you think the anti-white oligarchs are going to cease this battle with the anti-white oligarchs in Russia? We told you from the very beginning, this could end up as a war of attrition, where they are willing to fight to the very last Ukrainian bodies in Ukraine to trouble, thwart, undermine, distress, bankrupt, etc., the anti-white Russian oligarchs. Have we not said that? And that's exactly as it's now appearing increasingly for more and more people. There have been other people, and I like to mention this because it's relevant. When you come here for information, when you come to me for information, when you come to the thinkers, white positive thinkers for information, you are effectively purchasing, even if you're not buying, even if you're just getting this for free, even if you never financially gift, even if you never participate with your time, intelligence, etc., in service to white well-being, you are effectively buying or procuring a product and service. Now, let me ask you, how many of these other content creators across the white sympathetic sphere have told you a single thing about what's going on here that holds true again and again across a spectrum of questions that you are confronted with in your life on a level that you can engage with them that actually matters to you, right? It doesn't do you any good to say, we should XYZ today, and then when you don't do anything, you don't have power over anything. So we bring to you the information around the world in a way that is accessible for you, in which, with which you can, you can interface, you can participate, you can use the information in your world to make your life and our people and our countries a better place. This is the place where that happens. And we absolutely do not bring to you week after week another novelty take to keep you interested, to keep you speculating. I don't give a shit. If you want to speculate, if you want to be interested about something, go look for a fishing hole where you can actually engage with it. You want to know how better to please your wife? Engage in that process. Experiment with that. Politics, sociopolitical matters is not a place for you to be being entertained. Do you understand? It is a place where we recapture our destiny. This has become far too feminine. The masculinity is absolutely out of this process. We have to say, with intent of forethought, what we can do, how we can engage. how this can actually be used by us in our lives, where we are in school, in old folks' homes, working in factories, working on work sites, working in operating rooms, working in law offices. And by the way, have any of you gone over yet for the first action item of today? We have another action item at the end of the show, so don't go anywhere to find out what that's going to be. Very easy to participate in that action item. Have any of you gone over there? I haven't seen anything come by that's orange that says no white guilt. If it says no white guilt, I will see it. No white guilt's on YouTube. No white guilt is live. No white guilt, best kept secret. It's going more than slow enough right now with 111,000 watching, more than slow enough right now that your message will be seen by others and you will have played a part in the reclamation of our destiny. And it will be warranted then for you to sit in your rocking chair with that blanket over your lap and your grandchildren around your knees and say that you played a part in recapturing our destiny so that they could have an America like our great-grandparents had. Because we are born into a living hell. And we're going to make sure that fewer and fewer generations of white people are born into a living hell. Not because we're out there cheerleading, not because we're out there celebrating mascots like a bunch of twits, but because we are men and women who are going to do what our to justify and honor our ancestors, what they would have done in our shoes. We get back to this story. Russia has accused Ukraine of planning to detonate a radioactive dirty bomb and blame it on Moscow. Defense minister discussed the, quote, rapidly deteriorating situation in the Ukraine war, calls with NATO nations on Sunday. And of course, we see now that Putin is begging in Russia to get rid of the red tape so they can produce munitions faster in that country to be able to wage this war where it is just a fight to the end of resources. That's exactly what's taking place. Russia has been able to annex these states, or whatever they're called over there in that part of the world. It's been able to annex these states. In these states, apparently, it's predominantly Russian-speaking people, ethnically people who are ethnically Russian. And you have Elon Musk. We'll be talking about him in a little bit. Very interesting thing, in a way that you can engage in that as well, because that is what we do here. Has said these territories, he's called for new elections overseen by the UN, but nonetheless, these territories are predominantly Russian and ethnically Russian. I'm not a student of this region. I'm not going to dig into it. I really don't care. What I care is that the war between brothers comes to an end as quickly as possible. I can't interact with whatever that information is down in the weeds about those areas. I sympathize with the Ukrainians. The bottom line is we will need the war to come to an end. And it is going to end up being, it is already ending up being, our honor, our dignity, our dollars that are being washed away as inflation goes through the stratosphere in this country and other Western countries. And they're saying it's a global problem. It's a global problem because the anti-white oligarchs are waging war against the anti-white oligarchs in Russia. Our anti-white oligarchs at war with their anti-white oligarchs, many of whom are not even Westmen. That's what's actually taking place. So you even have Elon Musk saying, let's put an end to the war. It seems to me that Russia, I predicted potentially to the Donbass, and that was it, because you also have the minerals and etc. to the east of the Donbass. These states that have voted, whether you think it's legitimate or not to be part of Russia, those states will continue to have war waged upon them until this lion, the population in the United States, becomes so wild that things begin to break down. And those anti-white oligarchs at the very top who have the money behind the politicians, particularly the female politicians, who are far more susceptible to pressure, to social pressure than males are. And that has been demonstrated, in my opinion, in countless studies, in my opinion. Not only that, but in the studies of your life, when you have witnessed in your place of work and your family, when social pressure is all it takes, and then she flips. The idea that something more powerful comes along and says, you'll do this, a little bit of pressure, and she flips. Men have demonstrated that they are less likely to flip in the face of social pressure. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of social pressure for that war in Ukraine to end. Are we going to see a dirty bomb, a false flag, which would benefit the United States, Canada, etc., vassals of the anti-white oligarchs in these countries? Are we going to see that in a way that benefits them? Cui bono, who benefits? Not the anti-white oligarchs in Russia. Are we going to see that in these final 2 weeks before the election? Because the Democrats are doing so bad. And every day that goes by, it gets worse for the Democrats in the United States. And all of these people who are in the Republican camp, who think that the Republicans are doing something good by getting these votes, they've done nothing. They are recipients of the anger and outrage of those who are suffering underneath Democrat rule in the United States. You have inflation. You have, you have the price of gas. You have crime. You have immigration, all going through the roof, all things that people care about in the United States. Nothing the Democrats are talking about until today. They're trying to do a U-turn across the United States to try to save themselves some vote. It's looking like the Republicans are going to hold the Senate and take the House. And then what will happen? We have a party that favors non-white people from coast to coast, north to south. That's what's going to happen in this country. And the actual texture of the Republican Party is going to be changed forever. Not only to one where the leadership says, who gives a shit about you white people? Not only one of that nature, but one where we actually see, as we have seen with Kari Lake, where we have stood up against her. And what do you have? You have all of these Republicans that come out and attack you for caring about the white race. Not just white ones anymore. Not just white anti-whites, but non-white anti-whites, becoming racial on both sides of the political spectrum. Without providing evidence, the ambassador said Ukraine could escalate the conflict with a dirty bomb, a device that uses explosives to scatter radioactive waste. It does not have the devastating effect of a nuclear explosion, but it could expose broad areas to radioactive contamination for about 48 hours. The half-life and real danger, as I understand from something like this, is about 48 hours. The purpose of the provocation is to accuse Russia of using weapons of mass destruction in the Ukrainian theater of operation and thereby launch a powerful anti-Russian campaign in the world aimed at undermining confidence in Moscow. The calculation of the organizers of the provocation is that it is successfully, if it is successfully implemented, most countries will react extremely harshly to the nuclear incident in Ukraine. As a result, Moscow will lose the support of many of its key partners. So Russia's getting out there ahead of the likelihood of such a detonation that would serve the anti-white oligarchs in the United States and their allies. And just wait for, you already see Biden, just what was it today, when he's not falling asleep, the corpse in chief, when he's not falling asleep, saying that Russia is about to do this. Bullshit, in my opinion. It is quite simply bullshit. It would not benefit Russia one iota to detonate such a weapon, in my opinion. It would completely be to the benefit of the United States. Here we have Kari Lake. What's going on? All these people love Kari Lake. I got to show you her Facebook banner before we move on to this story, where she's just out there to win the black vote, cares big time about blacks. And I also want to read to you from her website all of the racial groups that she and her campaign has an association with. Interestingly enough, there isn't one for white people. She didn't reach out to No White Guilt and the white positive Go Free movement to say, can we collaborate? Can you support me and say good things about me? And we'll make sure that we are going to put an end to the victimization of white people known as anti-whiteism. Nope, not doing that whatsoever. So let's see if we can do a screen share here and see if we can find her Facebook page. This is it. How do you like the face? I don't know if you can see that. I'll see if I can make that a little larger. How do you like that face of the Republican Party? This is the future of the Republican Party. Remember when white people used to look at the Republican Party and say, well, look at the white people up there. So every dog whistle that they've given us, they're going to make America great again. all of those deceptive dog whistles that manipulated us all the way to this perdition and far worse to come. There are circles of hell that you can't even fathom here in the United States that are on the way. Talk about a red wave. It's going to be a sanguinary wave for the white race in these United States. And you'll see. In fact, we have a story we're going to look at about what ends up happening here in the United States as the Republican Party turns non-white. And that's what you have here. You had a Republican Party before that used to be able to go out there and deceptively dog whistle and say, well, we got all these white people up on stage, so just cross your fingers. We're going to do things that might obliquely benefit you. It might obliquely help you out. And then all the white people said, good, okay, we'll just go with that. All the white little biddies out there, all the old ladies, they all said, good, we'll go with that. And then they slapped you on your shoulder and told you, shh, be quiet, white man, be quiet. They're going to make things better for everybody, and that includes us. Well, shut up, you old white bitch. They're not making things better for us. In fact, do you see any white people on that stage? I think they're all Hispanics. I think this is the future of the Republican Party, is what I think. And it's going to be their biospiritual desires, their biospiritual norms that become the platform of the Republican Party evermore. So those out there who continue to say we shouldn't make the Republicans say our name as a prerequisite for the white vote, those out there who continue to say that need to have their mouths sewn shut with love. Let's take a look at this. This is her with the Hispanics. This is the future of the Republican Party, because you remember the audio, don't you? You remember the audio where Kari Lake insulted the entire white race with an anti-white slur. You remember that? Let's listen to it again.
The Republican Party is the party of the Latino. It is the party of family. It is the party of faith. It is the party of the American dream. That's what Latinos are about. My husband is Latino. My children are Latino. I'm just a gringo, okay?
What do you got to say? What do you got to say about the audience that laughs at that? They're a bunch of anti-white scum. That's what you have to say about an audience that laughs at that. Everybody knows when the Hispanic, when the mestizo, whatever you want to refer to them as, central south of the border, who are not white and anti-white, not the ones who are not anti-white, because those are good people, the ones who are anti-white, when their gang members say, what you looking at, gringo? Is gringo being used as a neutral word? Is it like mister? Do you think when the gang member says, what you looking at, mister? Do you think mister would go there? Does that make sense? Do you think the gang member is saying gringo because it's a neutral or it's a positive? It just means a white person, just a general white person. No, the gang members say that because it is a racial slur. It is an anti-white slur. And here you have a mainstream politician that all of Fox, Sean Hannity, as vacuous as that tard can possibly be, supporting this woman with as much of fervent intensity as he can muster. And it's not a lot, because he's brain dead. He's mostly brain dead. All of Fox News, all of these conservative outlets supporting this woman. And this is what she says. She's just white. That's essentially what she said. She's just white. That is to say that white people are inferior. And she uses a slur when she talks about the white race. And everyone knows it's a slur. Everyone knows. We perceive it as a slur. And that's all that needs to be said. You don't get to come to me and say, well, we don't think it is a slur. No, we perceive it as a slur. End of conversation. You don't get to go to Jews and tell them that they need to be okay with racial slurs directed at them. You don't get to go to blacks and say that they need to be okay because you didn't mean it that way. No, you don't get to do that. You have to abide by what they find, what they find insulting and derogatory. And you are damn well going to abide by what we say is insulting and derogatory. So she says, just white. I'm just white. I'm below you wonderful non-white people That's what she thinks of the white race. And then she tacks on a racial slur on top of that. Does she care about white people? Was that just a joke? I don't know. Let's take a look at another screen and let's see if she cares about white people or not. Because it appears to me that she doesn't care about white people in the least. Let's have a look at this. This is Kari Lake, and she's always, and this is how sad. Idiocracy, that movie, I've never seen it, but I heard, everything has just become so superficial. How superficial can we get that each of these female politicians always look like they're trying out for a beauty pageant? And then we have all of these women of both sexes across the United States that say, wow, look at how wonderful she looks in that lighting. Look at how wonderful she looks in that dress. She has so much poise and elegance. That's not why you vote for somebody, you dumb bitches. We don't have time for garbage like that. Let's hear what she has. She's standing there with Black Voices for Keri. Black Voices for Keri. We're going to get to that article you can probably see on the TV behind me in just a moment. Let's take a little listen to this. Let's see what's being said. What's she talking about? Do you think she jumps in and says, well, I'm with Black Voices today, but I want you all to know that I also care about and love the white race. But after all, I'm white, and the white race is composed of a wonderful people. It's a beautiful people, the white race, Western kind. They have done magnificent things. We all around the world want to live in the civilization that they project onto their environment. So we love the white race as well. But today, we're with the wonderful black race, and so we're going to be talking about, no, this particular clip, she does talk about the black race and how wonderful they are and how much they love her. In this particular clip, she is implementing a tried and true Republican technique for failure.
I'm actually shocked you asked that question.
Well,
Actually, answer.
I have to give you a tough one once in a while.
I did a little, actually, Anthony, how old are you?
20.
Are you a journalist?
No.
Well, you did better research than half these people. Let's talk about election deniers.
There you have it. Oh, you got him. You got him, Republican. And she's just another, she's no rebel Republican. She's no MAGA. She's just another. All these MAGA Republicans we're discovering are just basic bitch Republicans. It's just the same old shit. Boy, you owned them. You owned them, Miss Lake. You owned them. You really got them. You got them cornered because you showed how hypocritical the Democrats are. My whole life, I've been watching that. I have memories all the way back to watching television, politics on television, and there were the Republicans. Boy, we've got them this time. We've demonstrated that they're hypocrites. Number one, they don't care that you think they're hypocrites. Number two, they're not actually hypocritical because they will take contradictory positions with absolute fiery passion as long as both of those positions arrive at anti-white conclusions. God damn it. But here you have it. This is our age. This is contemporary. This is folks showing up. This is folks showing up and saying, these are the MAGA. This is the turn of the tide. This is the new Republican Party. This is the remaking of the Republican Party. As the Republican blue bloods, as anti-white as they are, laugh up their sleeves all day long in their country clubs, while your neighborhoods become places where you can't even canvass because you have your head caved in. Oh yeah, we're going to get to that story in just a moment. Where you try to go out into the world and you try to advocate for a Republican candidate, even an anti-white Republican candidate, and you have to have reconstructive surgery. That's the kind of America that we're being given by the Kari Lakes, the new MAGA Republicans. Don't you feel excited? Don't you feel emboldened? It's this false sense of security, you dumbass. When the old woman says to you, even if she's 17 and your daughter, and she says, Dad, no. You say, shut up, bitch. Men have to be in charge now because this gynocentric domination of the resistance against anti-whiteism has lost, and it gets worse every day. And I know that if things get bad enough, you can always just flop over on your back and throw your legs open and be spared. But I don't get to do that. You see, I'm going to be the target all along. You even had this guy who's renamed himself Ye legally, formerly Kanye West, saying the most discriminated, this is after Candace Owens says it, the most discriminated a person in the United States, across the West, is the white male. Now, he's no fan of us, trust me. I'm going to have to review this Piers Morgan thing everybody's asking me to review. But I can tell you right now, he's no fan of ours. He's a black nationalist. Have you seen his history? More power to him to be a black nationalist. So what? But everybody can see the writing on the wall. So when it comes to these white women in your lives, it's time to tell them, men are stepping up. You are shutting up. Here she is with her black voices. It's the black voices. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article, and then we'll see where this new form of Republican is taking us. Please grab the URL, share it around with as many people as you possibly can in your circles of influence. Hop on over to that live chat. I see the live chat is still moving. It's very slow. How many people are over there watching on the Daryl Brooks? So it looks like they've stopped talking over there. It's still live. The live chat is moving slowly. There are still, it says 83,000. It will be very easy to jump over there. If you write no white guilt, it'll turn orange for me. No white guilt is live. No white guilt will stop any future anti-white terrorist attacks like this. We have a practice that actually changes the world. We have something that reclaims our destiny. Do you want to continue just to watch trials of anti-white terrorists and see what ends up happening to them? Or do you want to change the world and recapture our destiny and make it a place where white children can be in parades again? Because you know what's going to happen. The more of these anti-white terrorist attacks take place, the more they're going to bury them underfoot, because they are contradictions. They are hush crimes. They are contradictions to the anti-white narrative. And when they happen, and more of them will happen, you can guarantee more anti-white terrorist attacks will happen. The white women in your world, the vast majority, not all, are going to be saying it's the white man's fault. And you're going to have to give up more, surrender more, because that is normal for them. You have to back up more, get on your back more. Unfortunately, men don't have a way to please the males, the conquering males of anti-whites out there. Let's get into the story. Black voters just love Kari Lake, says Kari Lake. Look at her here. She's just exuberant. She is effusive with how much she loves black people. She just loves herself some black people. Nothing, good for her. She's got black constituency as well. Good for her. But guess what? There's another group out there that you're going to learn to love. When we are powerful enough here in service to white well-being, we will make sure that the Kari Lakes of the future lose every time. You're not going to say our race. You're not going to talk about anti-whiteism, which is destroying the entirety of this country for everyone. You're not going to talk about us. We're going to make sure you lose. I see Franklin saying, so you only have you can only make a comment every 5 minutes. And I just now see Victorian Time Traveler. Big 07s for that champion. Just jumped into the live chat. So our heroes are only able to leave a message every 5 minutes to slow this chat down. So if we are all going over there and leaving a message here and there with no white guilt, I will see it. We will celebrate you. Every now and again, you only have to make 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. We're going to be here more than long enough. 80,000 people watching the live chat over there. Victorian Time Traveler, all proving that he is a champ. That he is a man that stands up for his word. That he's going to be one of those that gets on the line to make it happen. How is it Nick Fuentes has remained the least bit in anyone's minds, it's because he has nothing to offer whatsoever. And I challenge anybody to bring forward to me something that they think that he has to offer that is transformative for this country, for Western kind. One thing. I challenge anybody. Yet he has remained in people's minds. Yet he has remained in the mouths of people. Yet he has remained something that continues to be talked about. Why is that? Because he forces his followers to get out. Unfortunately, these are sad. Many of them are sad losers, and they accept the orders that he gives them. Get out there right now. And they do it. And it gets pushed to the top of every thread, his name. That's how he's remained relevant. If they can do it, if they can remain relevant with nothing to offer, then we should be relevant when we actually save people from suicide, when we actually empower people to take charge in their work lives so that they're getting promotions, so that they become the boss at work, when we actually have concepts that win the socio-political conversation, whether it's just with your family, whether it's with a stranger, whether it's on a placard, wherever it goes. You don't have to retreat here into just kidding nationalism. You don't have to retreat here into some sort of history didn't actually happen that way. You don't have to retreat into, well, I'm just religious. Don't take it out on me. You don't have to retreat into anything like that. You are the moral actor in that conversation. We can be as good as guys who are stuck by the circumstances of this anti-white world in their basements and unable to get a girl to show any interest in them. Kari Lake, she is rhapsodic. Look at her there. She is rhapsodic with her love for the black race. Phoenix, the event at a barbecue joint along the interstate here was billed as Black Voices for Kari, where far-right gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake could demonstrate her support among black voters. When, quote, black people start asking questions, we want answers, declared the MC, former NFL player Jack Brewer, from Florida for the event. So this NFL athlete, you're going to help black people out, blacks will show up. How do you like that? How do you like that? You're going to help black people out. You're effective as I am here, as we are here. You can't even get people in the white sympathetic sphere to show up. You're going to get out there as a Republican and you're saying we're doing this for the black race. And NFL players, star-studded lineups will show up to tell the world how great you are. Who at the White House in 2020 praised Donald Trump as, quote, the first black president. See, it's all race. It is all racial for this is why multiracial empires throughout the history of the world, you can look it up for yourself. Have they ever worked? Empires, according to my reading of history, and this is my reading, I'm probably wrong. You'll have to go look it up for yourself. Probably just opinionating here. But when I look at history, I see monoracial environments that create great nations that then become great countries, that then become prodigious empires, that then become multiracial, and that then everybody is at each other's throats until they rip each other's throats out and the empire collapses. That is what we see all the way back when I was in seventh grade. Seventh grade. We're talking about 11 and 12 years of age. And I said, then in the United States, and of course it's happening across the West, you have all of these other groups, all of these racial groups, and increasingly you have these groups that are privileged groups. They call themselves victim groups. But you have all of these other racial groups, which were also called victim groups. But of course, we know them in our story to be privileged groups. You have all of these groups vying for more and more for themselves. And then you have all of these radical individualists that are called the white race. And they are busily trying to rebuild what's being torn apart in the West, in the United States. And I said, the United States can't last. I told my teachers, I told the admin there, read my book, Crucible. Get my book, Crucible. That is nonfiction about my transformation. 7th and 8th grade of my life. find out what happened there. I told them, United States can't survive this. You can't survive an environment where the people who are the founding stock work their asses off to maintain the country as it is devoured alive by all of these different racial groups. And then every time white people say, what about all these other victim groups of all races? And when white people say, what about us? What about our interests? What about our well-being? What about our future? What about our children? What happens? Well, Democrat demons say, oh, well, you're another Hitler. You're another Ku Klux Klan. If you care about the well-being of white people. Of course, even at 11 years of age, I was smart enough to say, if that is immoral, then the opposite of that, moral, is to victimize white people. It's white ill-being. And of course, that's what we see in the anti-white narrative, isn't it? We see this anti-white morality. And what did we get from the Republicans when we said that? What about white people? Well, they come after us, especially, and it's like you henpecked to death by all these anti-white, white female gorgons who come like trolls out from under bridges and out from caves. And they're just like, we're individuals. We have to be above that. We're above all this division. We're above it. You have to be above it. Well, we've been being above it. The parents were above it. They all been listening to you. The trolls come out. Can you imagine this green thing sliming out of a cave somewhere, this Gorgon, and she's got these big sagging bra on in front of her and curlers in her hair, and she's this anti-white, white female Gorgon. Not all of them. The ones we had, white females here are women of the West. But you've had all these come out all the time. And no, you got to appease. You got to give up more. You're above race. There is no such thing as race. And we did it. And our parents did it. And our grandparents did it. And our great-grandparents did it. And where are we today? Well, you can look back to the great-grandparents and their parents. And you can look at the magazines. You can look at the newspapers. You can look at the movies. And you can see these parks. You can see these parks that used to exist, and they would show, here's the lake at Lake whatever. And it was all super pristine. It was all, the environment was totally clean. And they were like, we had one water bottle went missing here in the past 5 years. So it's kind of a crime ridden. That was the kind of shit they talked about. And yeah, it was tons of white people. Damn, that's just so awful, isn't it? That's just so awful that there were so many. Got to white erase it. Got to white erase. There's your progress for you. There's your anti-white progress for you. Got to white erase it. So you look out at the beach now. You look out at the lake now. And well, what? Nobody shows up. Why is it so sparsely populated now? Oh, I see there's a car that was set on fire years ago, still out there. Oh, bodies have been found in the lake since the environment has been turned to shit and the lake's water level has gone down. What an interesting thing to happen there. Oh, hypodermic needles, stabbing people in the feet and getting AIDS and everything else in the beaches. What a surprise. Crack pipes? What a surprise. What a surprise. Fentanyl found out on the beach that looked like children's candy and the kids eat it and they died. What great progress. What anti-white progress we have now. This is what we've gotten from listening to these females of both sexes, by the way, because it holds true for the anti-white white males. When they come rolling out in their diapers, these Mayberry morons, these functionally comatose politicians, that all of these white biddies out there, these anti-white white females out there, that they say, we got to vote for him because I feel comfy with him. I feel so much more comfy with him. The Jason guy, he seems a bit radical. He gets angry. He shouts at people. He tells us we have to do our duty. He gets mad. Think about all these people. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. My troll slayers are in the house, baby. My troll slayers are in the house. You're going to step up against my troll slayers, and they're going to sweep your head off your shoulders. Don't bother. Troll slayers are in the house. So they come up and they say, oh, no, you got to vote. If you're going to vote for this guy, you have to look for the most epicene white male that we can find. Where's the most epicene white male that we can find? It's either that or it's got to be a little girl. And now we have more and more little girls. Now the majority of people in Senate and the House, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, are female. And so what are we going to have for the future? And then you have these people. I want to talk about this just for 1 second because I've been talking. You have this electorate all across the West that are supposedly the people who are proud of Western kind and who want to serve Western kind, not implicitly, but explicitly. And what are they doing? They're saying, well, let's celebrate the female. Let's celebrate the female that gets out there. Why? Because they're all gimps. Every white male from now on who supports a one of these females, or who supports a non-white who says something sympathetic for the white race, like Kanye West, who is now named Ye. We have to put that on now because it's legally changed to Ye. Everybody who does that, every male, you're a gimp. You are a gimp. You need therapy. If you want to have yourself laced in black leather and bent over by somebody wearing a strap on, you need help. You understand? We need men of the West. You need to get out of this sphere if that's the kind of person you're going to be. You don't like tough words? You don't like hard words? You don't like a real man of the West with masculinity speaking to you this way? That's your problem. That means something is deficient in you. You are a misfit. Something is wrong in you. You need to take charge of your life. You need to go free. You need to try to become a man. And that's not a bunch of big words online about how you're going to fight somebody, or a bunch of big words about how when the balloon goes up, you're going to suddenly do something then. That's not going out and learning everything you can about firearms and targets and tents and where you're going to hide out somewhere in your casket waiting for the end of the world. No, that's not being a man. Being a man, the first way you're going to find out whether or not you're able to be a man, if you're actually male out there, is whether or not you hear somebody like me talking and you either get excited about it and you say, damn right, or you get nervous. You get nervous. You feel offended by it. And then you start looking all around. Are the girls listening? Are the girls listening? Because I'm going to get punished. She'll wear the extra big strap on. Yeah. If that's happening to you, get up, out. You know where the door is. We're going to keep rolling. I'm not seeing anybody else. I'm not seeing anybody else showing over. I get that you got every 5 minutes. If you write no white guilt, it'll turn orange. It is taking up a whole third of the screen. I will see if somebody writes no white guilt over there in that live chat. What about these debates? Did these debates ever materialize? Are any of them running live that we can jump into their live chats? All right, maybe you all don't like. Let's see who else is on. All right, let's do this. We're going to change the action item right now. All right, here we go. There's the new place. There's the new place. You're not going to you don't have a 5-minute wait there. All right. This channel now has almost 500 people watching live. Almost 500 watching live. For what? To accomplish what? To do what? So let's see. I'll be able to see. There's Euro Yankee shows up first. There's Franklin shows up second. Euro Yankee is a woman of the West. Are you? Franklin is a man of the West. Are you? Back to this article. But there were a few problems with the, quote, Black Voices concept. The majority of attendees at this Keri Lake event, at a barbecue joint, this anti-white author trying to trivialize the party that they had, the campaign party, whatever they termed it, the barbecue joint, trying to trivialize it. There were a few problems with the Black Voices concept. So this is the Republicans. I gotta tell you, I am hot. I'm hot. This is, what's it going to take, white people? Not you out there, the folks out there. Remember, the people who are listening that are not guilty of what I'm saying, agree with me. They get excited about the things I'm saying. If you feel like I am targeting you, then that is a truth that should hurt, and you need to grow from that. Here you have the Republican Party. What do you predict took places at the Black Voices event? Now, this is the MAGA that people are pouring money into this Kari Lake, that she's just white. All these white people pouring money, time and effort, canvassing out there on the roadside, pouring their white dollars, pouring their white ingenuity, pouring their white time. Kari Lake's out there not for white people, but for the Black Voices. What happens at the Black Voices event? Let's see. The majority of attendees were white, as were many of the people putting questions in the big goldfish bowl for Lake to answer, and even some of those holding Black Voices for Keri posters. I mean, what a fucking joke! What a joke! This race, and it's because you can't stand a man like me. This is because you males out there, don't tell the females in your life, shut the fuck up. We have to be heroes in our story. And you women of the West out there, you're not out there telling the gelded men in your world. Yeah, I know your stories too, where you're up against these white males, these white boys that are gimps, and you accidentally married them. You're accidentally dating them. You're like, I just found this out about this. See, I didn't know he was such a gimp. You got to call them out on that shit. Because here you have these white people who are forming the substance of the Black Voices for Kari Lake. Are you fucking kidding me? What in God's name? No race has ever been this sick. None has ever been this sick. But they're happy to go to these other channels and hear about how bad the world is. Hear some content creator doom document all day long. And then like little children, they're all like, yeah, it's that bad. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, he made a point. Wait, is it okay, honey, that he's making a point? Is it okay that I watch him? Yeah, how many of you out there now have had to make sure it's okay with your mom or with your wife or with your daughter to watch No White Guilt? If that's the case, I'm going to suggest you reach right down, grab that down there. It's probably barely detectable, and then yank real hard, straight down, because you need those babies to drop. We need Chuck Yeagers. I'm saying we need Patrick Henrys. We need Christopher Columbus. We need heroes. We need explorers. We need fighters. We need thinkers. We need men of the West. That's what I'm saying. The white people are forming the actual tangible substance of Kari Lake's Black Voices. She says, I'm going to go out there and do work for black people. Not enough black people show up for her, probably because she's giving so much lip service and praise to Hispanics. And so all the white boobies out there, they run up like a bunch of gips and gorgons. Oh, we'll be it for you. We'll be the Black Voice for you. I'll put up some Black Voices for Keri signs. I am sick of this. Black Voices for Keri posters distributed by the white campaign workers. To overcome this awkwardness, campaign aides recruited actual black people in the audience to stand behind Lake at a subsequent news conference in which Lake declared her Democratic opponent racist. Oh, isn't that special? Isn't that special? It wasn't that from Saturday Night Live, the what was it, Church Chat or something? Isn't that special? Isn't that what she said? The actor playing the woman probably was a female down deep. Isn't that what they said? Isn't that special? I turn around again. There's Mestizo Carf. I see Euro Yankee. Dr. Igor. That's a cool name. J.C. Denton. Western Sunrise. Joseph. Salutes for the champions who are spreading some actual, tangible information that achieves goals in the recapture of our destiny. Every single one of you. There's Ladybug is over there. Salutes. Hyperborean Dream. Roy Danton. Fergus Moore. Azimuth Clark. Champions. Salutes. Raucous emojis. If you're not going over, I expect you to be saluting and breaking out the raucous emojis for these champions, for the work that they're doing. Because this is it. This is it. We are witnessing what all of the generations, and what every new voting cycle in the West, in America, has witnessed. The death of Western kind, the death of Western civilization in these United States. And they sat around and did squat. It stops with us. We're not going to sit around and do squat. We're not going to watch and make sure that we're nice enough to these Republicans. This is once again, we're witnessing once again the big rebel Republicans that are stepping up. And here's one of them, Kari Lake. And she says, it's about the black people. It's about the Hispanic people. And I'm, as Kari Lake, I'm just white, and use a racial slur, gringo. Yeah, and all of those people, by the way, who tried to talk away, gringo's not a racial slur. Bravo Sierra to that. But they had nothing to say. Okay, if gringo just means white, well then, why aren't you talking about her saying she's just white? Do you think she went to the Black Voices event and say, Latinos are amazing, white people are amazing, the people here today are just black? Of course she didn't. So she's insulting white people no matter how you look at it. But here you have it. So they have to actually go out into the audience, and all of these white people are okay with this. This day has to end, ladies and gentlemen. All these white people are okay with this. How does it end? How does it end? You shut down these white biddies, these gorgons. You shut down these men. You shut them down. You shout them out. They are pathetic. They are cucks. They are cuckolds. They are losers. They are bitches. They are scum. That's how you right the ship. All these white people are going to stand out there, and they're like, yes, we're here for your black voices. And I passed out hundreds of black voices for Keri signs this weekend. And oh, you're going to come out here and you're going to select a couple of black people in the audience, and you're going to take them up on stage with you. And then you're going to do what? You are going to advance. You are going to advance the anti-white ideology of our age as legitimate as your ideology, as the ideology of this country, by using its terminology, i.e., the anti-white concept, racist. That's what she does. That is what Kari Lake is actually giving you, white men and white women, poison. She is maintaining, she is sustaining the anti-white venom and the anti-white ideology made real by the anti-white terminology, making it real for you forever and ever until you finally stop breathing on that operating table, on that torture table, until you finally flatline on that torture table. She's going to make sure that ideology stays in place. And she's going to smile on as all these white people, one after the other, doddering idiots, up to, where can I get my black voices signed? I need to get my black voices for Keri signed. I'm going to distribute hundreds. Where can I write my check for Kari Lake? She's going to do it for us. Oh, you want some of the black people? Even though I'm giving all my time, talent, energy, and effort to you, let's get some of these black people that just accidentally wandered into the free meal at the barbecue place. And we're going to put them up on stage on the basis of their race so that Kari Lake can say, the black people love me, and I want more of the ideology that's destroying Western kind and Western civilization. I am making a point to you that if you're not getting it, something's wrong with you. You're a misfit. I'm making a point to you that should breathe fire into that cold cauldron inside your chest. You better feel this. You better feel it lighten you up like the jack-o'-lantern on your front stoop this Halloween. Fire in your eyes and mouth. Look at how pathetic this is. We're going to move on to the next. We've been here. Big salutes to everybody who's actually getting over there and dropping the link Not putting up with this garbage anymore. Oh, I got to show you before we get to the final story today. I got to tell you about this because this is where we're going. This is where we're going. This is Kari Lake's. I'm just going to tell you really quickly. This is karilake.com. You can go to her website once we're done here today. And she has a page of coalitions. She has a page of coalitions. Right now, we're going to honor Soundkiller because he went beyond the $19 mark. Soundkiller, raucous emojis, 07s, V's for victories, W for win, 30. Let's reclaim the defense of our people from these Mayberry moron dollars. You got it? 30. And he's the only one over here on Entropy. I wonder over the span that I have been being fired up, being angry, watching these other channels that don't do shit for our people. Not shit. I don't give a if you're entertained by them. They don't do shit for our people. Populated by 4, 5, 10 times the amount of viewers to do nothing. I'm sitting there watching that. I wonder how many people, white people, donated to Kari Lake in that time. I wonder how many white people got out or right now putting up banners like black voices for Kari Lake right now over that time. And I got Soundkiller, a champ here over on Entropy. $30. In your opinion, where should the line be drawn when someone opposes anti-whiteism, but otherwise subscribes to the broader worldly narrative? Because as you know, people are holding more and more contradictory beliefs. It's a great question. I'm not quite sure if you have, I know you have the book Go Free, the textbook Go Free. Anything that victimizes Western kind, as we articulate in Go Free, is where you put your foot down. All of the other topics that are going on in the world are ancillary. We only bring them up to segue into a key concept that we use or to introduce the Go Free method or whatever it might be. So you put your foot down at anything that's victimizing our people. And I tell you what, it's really easy to follow the trail now. It's not a breadcrumb trail, right? It's not like you're dropping like pieces of gravel out the back of a truck, or you got like a rope behind you from how this goes from this particular subject to how it has victimized white people and how the current takes us to more victimization of Western kind and Western civilization. No, it is absolutely painted in blood, the blood of our people, organs, our organs hanging out. And it looks like maybe the great Ladybug has just mentioned that the live stream to the debate is going. Is there a live chat? We're going to pass this over really quickly. Let's get a big round of raucous emojis. Thank you to Ladybug 07s in the chat, please. We'll see if we can, and I will add this to our action item. And we got another action item coming up for people who are, all right, yeah, it's up and running. There it is. It's now pinned to the top. You can head on over there. The live chat is going. And you can jump in. It has 42,000 watching. Let's let them know. Let's make noise. I will post the live chat over here so I can see every time No White Guilt shows up. You don't have to say at No White Guilt. If you just type No White Guilt, it'll turn orange for me. It's going pretty quickly, so make your message short so people will know. There's the great Franklin showing up already. God bless you, dear brother. That man is a superhero. Just everything you ask, he shows up. He's on fire. We'll turn on some of this debate maybe for a moment, in just a moment. But I got to read to you Kari Lake from her website. These are her coalition groups. These are the coalition groups. So here she has. I'm just going to run down through them. You do have one in here. I'm sure it's a group of like 2 people. Where is it? You don't have any. Let's put it this way. You don't have any group for white people. None. So you have at the very top. This is not an alphabetical order. So this is kind of speaking to her priorities in a way. The very top, Latinos for Lake. And then moms for Keri. Then we scroll down through here some more. Let's see. Asian Pacific Americans for Keri. Assyrians for Keri. Black Voices for Keri. Jewish Voices for Keri. Now remember, here I'm talking about racial groups or peoples, because Jews very often will say, and people looking at Jews will say, and I'm of course open to being corrected by Jews, that it's not a race, it's a people. So these are peoples. Now, I'm not talking about just some ethnicity, some little faction of this or that. Peoples. Who are the peoples, i.e. races, that Kari Lake wants the world to know that she stands up for that people, for that group. Now, remember, there's one group that she said, just fill in the blank. Of course, white, gringo. So you got Jews, Native Americans, as well. Is there any other Muslims? I don't know if you could say Muslims are people, but maybe you can. So that's it. Those are the peoples, the races that Kari Lake stands with, and that she wants the world to know. I stand with, who is that? Pearl Lady just showed up. Big salute. Raucous emojis. So I see people are putting so many hearts in there. It's interfering a little bit with my ability to see. The great Chopin is over there. I guess we're just going to have to become known as the community that raids chats. That one moment, everything is fine in their chat. Next moment, it's just like all on, wholesale, folks showing up all over the place, making everybody there wondering, what in the hell just happened? I guess that'll be us. Western Sunrise over there. And you all are doing a great job. You got nice, pithy statements with no white guilt. So folks will see that. They'll have a chance to actually read it. Wow, Fornull, financially gifted over there. And it's sticking up at the top. Wow, get out your raucous emojis, 07s. Fornull says, $25. I hope one of these 2 has the courage to stand up for Western kind, like our champ, Jason Köhne, a.k.a. No White Guilt. Man, that is epic. Raucous emojis. That is splendid, scintillating heroism from the great, and commitment and sacrifice from one of our absolute best, the great Fornull. I hope one of these 2 has the courage to stand up for Western kind, like our champ, Jason Köhne, a.k.a. No White Guilt. That's epic. Otherwise, folks, Get your pithy comments over there. This is a love swarm. We're committing a love swarm. And if they decide to slow down the chat because there's too much going on, so be it. Mestizo Carf, I saw it even though he wrote NWG. Thank you. Big salute to you, brother, showing up there. It's a lot of the same names. I don't know why, if you're out there, I don't know why you would listen and not participate in this to spread the word. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't have any intelligence, time, or money to contribute. So why not just take a statement made by one of our folks out there that you see regularly, copy and paste it into that live chat. Maybe you'll find somebody by doing that can fill the role that you can't. Maybe you're an invalid. Maybe you're paraplegic and you're lying in bed and you got that pencil in your mouth and you're typing away. Your Yankee says live streaming now. Andrew writes no white guilt. Salutes. I swear your Yankee is, she's shooting for Woman of the West award today. Epic. Great to see all of you showing up over there. And let me know if they start deleting people or banning you. But that is magnificent. Thank you so much for all. These are the groups that Kari Lake is happy to tell the world, I stand with Latinos. Do you think she's going to be helping you, white person? It's a tertiary thought. It's not even, it's a consequence, tertiary consequence, not even a thought. She doesn't give a shit about you if you're white because you're just white. She said so herself. She said so herself. All these other groups, Latinos, Blacks, Jews, Assyrians, Asians, American Indians, well, she's going to stand up and make sure that while she's in power, those groups are going to be benefited. They are going to have representation. And that was something big I wanted to get to today, too. That there's the Pearl Lady again. Great to see you, champ. The other day, Miss Rosamond said in our live chat something that reminded me of something I used to preach about and argue about years ago. And that was that we don't have, as white people, I framed it a little differently. She said, we don't have political representation. What I used to say was that we only have political representation if we are anti-white. We did not have in these United States political representation, and that is why we seceded from the crown. Taxation without representation. Are you not being taxed? Are you not being burdened? Do white people not pay the lion's share of taxation in the United States and indeed other Western countries? 37,000, 51,000 watching live over there now. If you want to make a difference, that's the place to do it. To drop a link, to make a comment, to get folks to come over and see something that will fundamentally change their lives. We do not have political representation as the white race in the United States. We don't have it in any of our countries, but we don't have it in the United States. The only way, as a white person, you can have political representation, it's not going to be through Kari Lake. If you want to actually have yourself, your desires, your interests, your well-being served. No, you can get political representation from Kari Lake and the rest of the Republican Party and obviously the Democrat Party if you are anti-white. You want an anti-white outcome? Republicans like Kari Lake will have no problem servicing that for you. She'll make sure that you are politically represented. We really need to hammer home to the electorate, and this will be a way. And let's get 07s and raucous emojis for Miss Rosamond for bringing this back up. We need to hammer home endlessly that the only way we have political representation, if we're white, is if we have anti-white desires. That as white people who are not anti-white, we have no political representation. For sake, we can't even get a candidate to say our name. We can't even get a candidate to say they care about the white race, about white people. Do you think you have political representation? And when the little old biddy says, "Oh, you still do. They're still looking out for you. Trust me." You just you shut the bitch up. You got to say, "I've heard you. We've been listening to y'all for long enough. It's been matriarchal for long enough. We've been putting our destiny in the hands of our women as leaders long enough. Now it's time for you to follow what is natural, what is right, what is holy, what is glorious, and that is men of the West." And if you find that disgruntling, mom, wife, daughter, then you can get the out. Then our relationship can end. If you find that upsetting, if you take umbrage, even though I'm not giving umbrage, this relationship can be over. And you don't need to be a part of the whites who make it through this bottleneck that you and your pacifism has enabled, that you and your diffidence has caused. Now, what else has it caused? How about this? How about this, grandma? How about this, daughter? Canvasser for Marco Rubio, brutally attacked in Hialeah, Florida, beaten to the point of needing facial reconstructive surgery for advocating for Marco Rubio and Ron DeSantis. Can you imagine? This is what has happened in the United States. We already have had for many decades, since before you were born, no-go zones in the United States. Certain parts of cities, of course, my opinion, if you're white, you go there at night, you're gone. You never come back. Now you have no-go zones for your political opinion. Get in the way of anti-whiteism at all, and you will be beaten to the point of needing facial reconstructive surgery. And he's lucky that he didn't die. This is the environment that MAGA Republicans, Rhino Republicans, placeholder Republicans, functionally comatose Republicans have caused. This is the world you want to try to advocate and politically inside of? He suffered internal bleeding, a broken jaw, and will need facial reconstructive surgery. U.S. Senator Marco Rubio shared photos Monday of a canvasser who was attacked while supporting his and Governor Ron DeSantis' re-election campaign. Rubio said the attack took place Sunday evening in Hialeah and that the unidentified man suffered injuries requiring surgery. Why is he unidentified? Let's find out. Last night, one of our canvassers wearing my t-shirt and Ron DeSantis' hat was brutally attacked by four animals who, this is quote, four animals who told him Republicans weren't allowed in their neighborhood in Hialeah, Florida, Rubio wrote. He suffered internal bleeding, a broken jaw, and will need facial reconstructive surgery. Fernando Villa, a major with the Hialeah Police Departments. Now remember, what kind of service we have in the United States, non-white people who have just endlessly talked about how they can't get justice from white police departments. Do you think you're going to get justice from non-white police departments? Do you really think, are you that gullible? Are you just such a gullible white boob that you think you're going to get justice from them? You've accepted all along that it's not acceptable for non-white people to seek justice from white police departments. You've accepted that even when it was your own kind. Are you now going to accept that you are going to get justice from non-white police departments? Are you, more importantly, are you out there, a man or woman of the West, going to allow the Gorgons and other dickless wonders in the white race to tell you, shh, it's going to be okay? Yes, they will. How dare you think that they're not going to give you justice? We just saw, how did the black police chief and the lieutenant police chief, a black female, right here down the road, we just went down there, the GFC of Virginia just went down Loudoun County, town of Leesburg, and found out exactly how they got their black chief of police and lieutenant female black chief of police. by getting rid of white people. They specifically said, the mayor, Burke, specifically said, we looked around, saw that most of the positions, God forbid, in a county dominated by white people, the largest part of the population white, we looked around and found that the majority of people who were working for the government here were white. And she actually called that, she said it was a horror. And then she put anti-white task forces in place to get rid of these white people, to white erase them. And now she said, we have black police of chief. We have black female lieutenant police of chief or deputy chiefs or whatever it is. And she went down the list. You think you're going to get justice? Well, down there in Florida, you have Fernando Villa, a major with the Hialeah Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division, confirmed Monday afternoon that an investigation into the incident is underway. He said that the victim invoked Marsy's Law. Do you know what that is? Which, among other things, protects crime victims' privacy. Do you want to live in a country where even as the victim, you have to hide your identity, invoking Marsy's Law, so that your victimizers, their families, these things are normal in the countries where they came from, that they won't come after you to victimize you more? Is that the kind of U.S. you want to live in? Is that the kind of Canada or Great Britain that you want to live in? Where you say, I was beaten almost to death to the point of needing facial reconstructive surgery, which, of course, friends, if you don't know, that's not going to look good no matter what they do. And please don't let anybody know who I am, because they'll get me again. They'll come after me more. Is that the kind of America you want to live in? That's the kind of America you're going to live in if you don't stand up for white well-being, if you don't stand up against anti-whiteism, against these fools in your midst. ABC affiliate Local 10 reported late Monday afternoon that Hialeah PD had arrested one Javier Lopez for aggravated battery connected to the attack. The arrest report said one other person was involved, but that person attacked Lopez, not the victim, supposedly. The report said Lopez blocked the sidewalk to prevent the canvasser from passing in front of his residence. Blocked to prevent the canvasser from passing in front of his residence. When the canvasser crossed the street to avoid him, Lopez told him, quote, "You can't pass by here. This is my neighborhood, my piss and stomping ground." The canvasser responded by telling Lopez in a very pathetic white way, "I'm on public property." A verbal dispute ensued that escalated when Lopez allegedly attacked the canvasser, slamming him into the ground and punching him repeatedly in the face, causing the need for reconstructive surgery. This is the America that the Republicans, the MAGA Republicans, have given you. It's not going to get better with girls defending you. It's not going to get better by entertaining and allowing other white people to celebrate Keri Lake and the rest without insulting them, without degrading them, without humiliating them, without mocking them, without making memes. Make memes to mock these turds. Make memes to ridicule them. I mean, our people can meme. Make sure to add nowhiteguilt.org so people have a place to go. Get out your raucous emojis. 07s for Hallander, who has come through, didn't put any verbiage down because Hallander said everything he wanted to say. With 50, let's mock these white booby loser dollars. 50. God bless you. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Hallander, 50. And then we have another champion that we know well. I just saw Euro Yankee go by again over there on the debate. Got a lot of good people that are going to be checking that out. A lot of people in Pennsylvania, a lot of good white people in Pennsylvania that are going to be showing up for this debate. And they're going to be wondering, what should we have? What should we have for the future? Do you want another feel-good Republican like Oz that's going to end up in office, and then you're going to have a sense of security, but things are going to continue, continuity of agenda all the way to perdition, as we have been marching for all these generations? I'm so fed up with this shit. Promethean Promulgation, $25 US. God bless you. Thank you. Good sir. 25. He says, I have recorded proof that you are personally being censored, pinned on my Twitter. Do you really? Promethean Promulgation. Spread that everywhere on his Twitter. What's your Twitter handle? You can write it in the Tall Kevin widget. Did you tag me in it? Is it PP? Where I see this, your tweet where you have, let's see. All right, I see this tweet. Maybe it's just to let folks know that one. Let's see what else you might have here. Okay, that's it. Now tell us in the question widget what exactly you're saying about the evidence. Okay, yeah, I'm there now. And what exactly you said? I have recorded proof that you are personally being censored. So what is happening in your pinned video there that demonstrates that I'm being censored? And I will share that everywhere. I just shared it. We have over here on Cash App. And I want to mention, while we have everybody with us, that I forgot to read, the great First Last had financially gifted on Sunday $100 US. Thank you so much, brother. We celebrated you. He wrote with those $100 US, if you don't use Dvorak, was that? No, it was this one. It was, he wrote with that $100, New Earth Calendar. That's something he's really into, the New Earth Calendar, and he would like you to check it out. $100. Thank you, brother. And here we have raucous emojis for, what shall I call you? Let's see. Winter, Maine, financially gifting $50 US over here. Or Winter Magic. He says, thank you. God bless you, man. $50 US. Thank you so very much. People, that is 50. I believe in what you're doing dollars. 50 testimonial. What you're doing works dollars. 50, no more of this bullshit. Patty cake Republican MAGA dollars. Making a change. Thank you so much. We also have Ace over here. Thank you so much, sister. Financially gifting $20 US. And she writes, I appreciate your fire. I'm sick of apathy. I appreciate your fire for Western kind. I'm sick of apathy, she writes. God bless you. Thank you so very much. $20 US dollars from Ace. We have the great, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, No White Guilt Clips. Financially gifting also 20 US dollars and writing with that $20, 07. 07s for all of these people, please. Raucous emojis for everybody. Raucous emojis for everybody. God bless everybody who's participating. Art Acrobats coming in. $2 financial gift. Thank you so much, brother. He says, we are treated like shit in America. Absolutely. That is an absolutely frank and true statement. We are treated like absolute shit. Can you imagine these white people out there distributing and placing and paying for the Black Voices for Keri signs everywhere? And then when she decides who's going to stand behind her at the lectern, she walks right by their white asses and grabs the few black people in the audience. Can you talk about being treated like shit? Keri Lake saying, oh, all of these other races, all these other peoples, they're wonderful. I stand with them. I'm going to serve them. I'm going to do their bidding. I'm going to make sure that they have representation. White people, they're just white people. In fact, they're just gringos. God bless every single one of you. Promethean Promulgation. We're going to get to our final story here and our final action item here as well. Final story being Musk informing his investors, co-investors. Let's see what this is right here. Folks, raucous emojis for Promethean Promulgation. 07s, taking over the live chat over there at that debate. I am loving it. We own that place. That's our house. They are our bitches. That is our house. We've gone into another team's stadium and we own it. We're going to leave with their banner. We're going to leave with the banner of their team. Promethean Promulgation, financially gifting over there $20 US. And he writes, we need someone that isn't anti-white like Lake. Jason Köhne is showing the way. Both Promethean Promulgation and Fornell's financial gifts are still visible if you click on them at the top of the live stream over there. Now, Promethean Promulgation, financially gifted here, $25 as well. So think about that. Think about the sacrifice. How do you feel about yourself? Can you look in the mirror anymore? Are you making it happen? Promethean Promulgation says here, I have a message that can't go through until I change your name to Mark Dice. I can see it on my monitor, but I can re-upload zoomed in on the action if you can't see it. So let's see exactly. You weren't able to write a message with my name, but you were able when you changed it to Mark Dice. Oh, I see. It's a $5 financial gift, and he's... Wow. So they would not take your money when it said no white guilt. It said message not sent, edit and try again. Wow. So that is this one that's up there right now. No, I don't even see it up there now. Oh, that was on the other. Okay. That's not on the debate. That was on the Law and Crime channel. I see that now. I expanded my screen. I can see it, and others will be able to see it. All right, folks. This is evidence of censorship. I'm going... Let me see. I'm going to retweet All right, over there on YouTube, this is you're going to do something on Twitter in a minute. So not on YouTube, but it happened on YouTube. You're going to get to this in just a minute at our final action item of the day. And I'm going to include retweeting this message that I just retweeted with comment, that video evidence that I'm being censored on YouTube. Dr. Frost just came in with 10 hopping dollars. Thank you, good brother, and great to see you. 10 hopping dollars. He says, God bless you all. Great show, great energy. Yeah, I'm fired up. I'm sick of this. I've watched this since I was a child, and I'm sick and tired of feminine rule, female rule. I'm sick of it. I'm done. No more appeasement anymore. Candidate, we are going to get strong enough that we'll go to Kari Lake. We'll go to candidates, and I'll pick up the phone. I'll call the office. We're going to get to the point where when the phone rings at a Republican office and they answer it and they hear that it's Jason Köhne and he wants to talk, if they decide not to talk to that candidate, that will mean failure in the election. That's the point we're going to get to. That will mean that candidate gets to lose. So they're going to have to get on the phone with me, and I'm going to say, you're going to talk about anti-whiteism. You're going to say that you oppose anti-whites in government, in private business, everywhere. And if you don't, we're going to go ahead and tell your electorate, most of whom will be white, the folks we go after, most of whom will be white, we're going to go ahead and tell them that you are anti-white, that you don't care about them, and we will have the money, we will have the resources, we will have the people to make sure you lose. White people are not going to put up with this anymore. In a very real way, in a very tangible, real way, a smart way, we're not going to put up with this anymore. No more LARPing bullshit. No more sitting on your laurels. No more holding some ugly placard up on the street corner with a megaphone. No more of that bullshit. Ugly slogans. Until then, we have Musk informs co-investors he plans to close Twitter by deal by Friday. There he is. What will this mean for us? What should we do? Elon Musk has notified co-investors who committed to help fund his grossly overpriced $44 billion acquisition of Twitter Incorporated that he plans to close his buyout of the social media firm by Friday, according to a person familiar with the matter. Equity investors, including Sequoia Capital, Binance, Qatar Investment Authority, and others, have received the requisite paperwork for the financing commitment from Musk's lawyers, the source added. The move is the clearest sign yet that Musk plans to comply with the Delaware court judge's deadline to complete the transaction by Friday. The bank said committed to fund Musk's buyout on Twitter have finished putting together the final debt financing agreement and are in the process of signing the necessary documents, according to a Bloomberg report. Musk pledged to close the deal on a video conference call on Monday with bankers who are helping fund the deal, according to the same report. So, ladies and gentlemen, what does it mean for us? Where does the rubber meet the road for us? There is going to be very, very likely, there's going to be a brief period when looking back, a brief period to make hay on Twitter when Musk takes this over. What happens with Twitter in the ensuing months and years, we've already articulated a bit of the possibilities and what's most likely. We've already articulated. I'm going to take a look at your comments too. If you got comments and you made comments, I didn't see them come back, I'll make them again. I'll take a look at them before I jump. There's going to be a brief period where we can really make hay, where we can really bring people, and that's the objective. we've two things when we go out into the world. We spread the key concepts and the other concepts from the Go Free method as much as we can, especially if it's a tactical project where, let's say, for example, we have some of these tactical projects where we have identified a writer, we have identified a content creator on YouTube or one of the other platforms, and the intent is to get that person to say anti-white narrative, border crosser, etc. We have all of these things that are showing up everywhere. The lexical and dialectical victories are just, they're mounting every day, every single day, because of the work of our activists. Generally speaking, because of the work of you all, men and women of the West, truly noble, heroic, wonderful, beautiful people. Generally speaking, we're out there, we're trying to seed the concepts, particularly the key concepts, and for those whom we can, we introduce them to the Go Free method where we begin a conversation. We need, in a big way, to be pushing no white guilt on Odyssey, no white guilt on DLive, no white guilt on YouTube, nowhiteguilt.org, where they're going to be able to find everything. So that's the go-to. We need to be pushing that like crazy. We need to be pushing that like the devil is at our back, because he is. We're going to make a huge difference in our outreach efforts by doing this, because the censorship it could not be worse. The anti-whites are incessantly shutting down the things that we say. And here you have Promethean Promulgation on video, screen share, demonstrating that's exactly the case. So we're going to be doing that. You need to do that on Twitter during this period to make hay. Memes on Twitter, particularly funny ones, but serious ones, etc. Hammer it. Get people to follow you. Tag other people. Find out the ways. Build a science of how to grow on Twitter, because there's going to be a period where that's really going to matter. After that period, it'll just be on the wane, on the decline. During that period, there potentially will be some confusion, etc., when it comes to who gets censored. And don't think for a minute that there still isn't going to be some censorship. There's your Yankee again. Holy crap. What a champ she is. Thank you so much. So we need to be in there during that period. There will end up being censorship as well. Mark my words. So we need to be in there making as much hay as we can while there's that confusion, while they don't have things latched down. Think about when these platforms were young, and when you look back, you see, wow, if we had just X, Y, or Z then, we would have had so much more today. That's today. That's your today. Musk has to acquire this by Friday, unless there's some kind of weird thing that we haven't seen yet that ends up happening. But he has to acquire this by Friday, according to the court, and that's it. It's open for a period of time. We have to make the most of it. What does that mean as far as Gab is concerned, or as Parler is concerned? It means that these, for a time, not forever, don't go abandoning your accounts there. It means for a time, the interaction on those platforms is going to come to a near stop, because everybody's going to run over to Twitter, where you can't get banned now, at least for the reasons or ways that you were banned in the past. The reason this subject of Musk and Twitter is interesting or important at all to us is because there is going to be a means in that purchase that enables us to get closer to our objective, not to entertain ourselves, not to get laughs. You can laugh about things along the way to your objective, but the purpose is not laughs. The purpose is to recapture our destiny and bring far more people here than we currently have. Let's make it impossible. Let's make it so that we have more people commenting in the live chat than the anti-whites will allow to be seen in the number of live viewers on the live chat. Does that make sense? We can do that. So might even look into, we'll see what they do with the prices on advertising on Twitter as well. It might remain too exorbitant and unfair, but we'll see. We'll see what happens as Musk takes it over and the culling begins. Let me see if we have anybody over here on Odyssey. Nope, nobody has financially gifted there, so I didn't miss anybody there. Let's get that live chat back up. And let me see over here, make sure I didn't miss anybody. And then I'm going to look at your comments in the live chat over here on YouTube. All right, good, didn't miss anybody over there. And all right, looks like the mic and all is still good here. Didn't lose it, as sometimes has happened. Nobody else there? All right. Jason S. says, on my screen, it shows more likes than viewers. Does it? Yeah. Same here. There's Ambriel. How are you doing, Jason? I tried to DM you on Twitter. Did you get my message? I had to make a new Twitter account, so you probably didn't recognize it. Okay, I'll look for that. Thank you very much for bringing my attention. I also wrote you back on one of the threads on YouTube, but I will look to you on Twitter and respond to you there. There's the great Elaine Sabatino. I've been posting in the debate chat with the no white guilt information. Awesome. Thank you so much, Elaine. Melody Dawn is here. Santa Claus is here. Foss is here. Arden Party is here. J.M. Johnson says, I have been trying to give you, I guess, money for months. Entropy doesn't let me charge credit cards. That is why I haven't been able to give. Entropy doesn't allow you to use a credit card? Does anybody else use credit cards? On Entropy. Summer Lee is here. Great to see you. Alex Simpsons. Do you, J.M. Johnson, have you tried Cash App? Or have you tried Odyssey? Art Acrobats. I'm on a 7-day Twitter ban for saying mass murderer Daryl Brooks. Well, has anybody suffered any ban on Twitter for calling Daryl Brooks an anti-white terrorist? Let's try to call him that. I mean, I know somebody, Art Acrobats, that used, who was it? That used the word cretin and got banned on Twitter. So the anti-whites, they're just bastards. Elaine Sabatino said Lauren Witzke was the last straw for her. She said she stopped following Lauren Witzke when she started hanging out with Milo Yiannopoulos, of course, which is a person, I don't care how many baptisms he has, until he shows me the report he made about turning in everybody on those 2 pedophile boat trips that he was on, where he saw young underage boys. Now, he told the world that. I don't know if anybody forgets that, but it's, you don't get to go and have a baptism and say you love Christ and that goes away. Those people have to go to prison. You have to name them and send them to jail. Arden Party says, will you see it if I tag it? I wonder. If you tag, what did I read from you a moment ago? I will see, obviously on this thread and on that thread, the debate. If you just write, you don't have to write at, you just write no white guilt and it'll turn orange for me. If that's what you're asking. JC Denton says, I can confirm YouTube would not post super chats where I wrote no white guilt. Wow. Can you imagine? So my My moniker, the whole YouTube platform has said, we're not going to allow that to go through. Anti-whites, folks. And think about the size of this community. Think about the size of this community and to what lengths that anti-whites will go to silence us because they're wrong, because they're bastards, because they're evil. The Great Sloss is in with a $3 financial gift. God bless you, brother. He said, test gift via Entropy credit card. Well, thank you for that. So J.M. Johnson, Sloss just used a credit card to try a test financial gift. And it went through on that case. So maybe have another look. And I appreciate all the efforts that you have made. Promethean Promulgation is back again with another $5. God, salute 07 to you, big man. $5 financial gift from this hero on top of everything else he has already given here and over on that other platform to bring attention to the work we're doing here. He says $5 more testing. The word white as well as black, but not yellow, is censored. But anti-white isn't, for now at least. So Promethean Promulgation is actively doing tests on the YouTube platform to see what they're censoring. So is this on the debate that you're trying to, this with the words white and black? I wonder if it changes the words that are censored depending on the platform and what they're covering at that time. It's fascinating, though. Thank you very much, brother. Sound Killer is over here in Tall Kevin Widget. Says, did you read my financial gift on Entropy? If so, I'll rewind to watch it later. Yes, we did read it, and thank you very much for that. Both that great question and the financial gift, good sir. Okay. Promethean Promulgation saying here that it was the same outcome with the censorship on multiple channels. You had a troll come in and he met his grim end with, well, what was that? He met his grim end with our troll slayers. Arden Party just financially gifted over there in the debate 2 Canadian bacon dollars. They're the tastiest dollars on the planet. He says, no white guilt, exclamation point, go free. Jason Köhne equals great book. God bless you, brother. Arden Party was able to make it happen. I don't know if it was Canada. That's the difference, or gifting in Canadian bacon dollars. I don't know. Yeah, it was a Charlie Meenot. It's another dickless wonder. A Meenot showed up. And within the anti-white narrative, being a typical dickless bitch, and had his head lopped off by the troll slayers. And if he comes back, Charlie, it's just going to happen again. You have no idea what you're up against. You are coming to a battle of wits, and you are unarmed. And I am divinity compared to you. So it's best just to not try. It's best to not even wade into those waters. It's best to pull up a chair, sew your mouth shut, and try to learn. Elaine says, I just posted something. Did you see it, Jason? Did you write no white guilt, Elaine? Because if you did, then it should glow orange for me. Yeah, I mean, you can financially gift, as little as $1 over there on that debate, and say something if you are wont to do that, and it glows. It makes, it lights up, and it's a comment that people can very easily see. But any of the comments in there telling folks about the good work that we're doing here, that's the work of superheroes. We have another one, $5 financial gift from I Love Western Kind. Oh my God, this is so awesome. This is what a love swarm is all about. We are love swarming these people. They're over there listening to this absolutely meaningless debate. It's totally meaningless. Folks over there. And now they're being love swarmed. $5 from I Love Western Kind said, look up No White Guilt on YouTube after this stream. That is epic. 07. Thank you. I Love Western Kind. Yeah, it's like our people are the ones financially gifting that channel. There's Nancy Drew said no white guilt. I just saw that. Great to see you there, sister. Wow, Hollander. Is that right? Yeah, Hollander just came in with another $50. Please, ladies and gentlemen, 07s. 07s to Hollander, another 50. We're going to disrupt this political system. Dollars. That's how it's going to work from now on, with something that actually makes a difference in the world. $50. God bless you, Hollander. And writes this: I will dare use words this once. Your, what is it, verbal like supremacy has and will continue to kindle the flame of Western fury within the hearts of our good men and women. Verbumenacy. Verbal supremacy. I will dare to use words this once. Your verbal supremacy has and will continue to kindle the flame of Western fury within the hearts of our good men and women. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm a very passionate person about what's happening to us. And we have to breathe fire into the hearts of our men and women again. The men and women, the people who are able, who are those embers that we've talked about before. The people who are able to catch fire yet again. We have to breathe life into them. We have to breathe verve, audacity, intelligence, creativity, tenacity, endurance into them again, so that we can recapture our destiny. That's going to be one of the ultimate visuals of the reclamation of our destiny, is the white man picking up a handful of ashes from what is become of our people and blowing into them, just as Prometheus blows into his fist in my book, Prometheus Rising, creating the worlds that populate our cosmos, each like its own life, its own soul inside of each one of us, blowing into those ashes, and the ashes scatter into the wind, all that is dead and lifeless and no longer worthy of life. And that one ember remains in there and grows brighter and brighter in his hands. And that ember is you. God bless you, Hollander. Big salute. Yeah, watch the news. What would be great is if the news ended up being over there. Well, the debate was a wash, and the real story was this white positive group of people that came in and took over the live chat. That would be epic. All right, scrolling back up. JK160 says the Pennsylvania debate is pretty interesting. The anti-white Democrats started the debate by telling everybody good night. This is the people that they run for office, including the president. Which, by the way, I mean these new. This is again the Republicans acting like we're owning them, we're winning, by pointing out to everybody. This is what Kari Lake just did, by pointing out to everybody that Hillary Clinton is now talking about how the Republicans are preparing to steal the 2024 election, and saying, well, look at the hypocrisy there. We weren't allowed. Why are you looking for permission or approval from your victimizer? Something's really wrong there. What do you mean you weren't allowed? You shouldn't repeat that sort of a statement. It undermines your effort to achieve well-being. But we weren't allowed to talk about election irregularities this past election, is what they say. But there she is. She's actually saying it's going to happen. The Republicans are going to do it. You even have this report that came out from that, what was the name of the group, where they investigated, like, what was it, 100 counties across the United States that went for Biden, and they went to them and they searched for the ballots and the evidence that they are supposed to have to keep. And apparently, what was it, 90 plus of them, or destroyed them. And what was the other thing? You'll have to go check it out for yourself. I don't remember exactly. The guy might have also said that in the vast majority, the votes didn't match the number of voters or something like this. I don't know exactly. You'll have to check it out. But the reason that is that way, the reason why you can have somebody like a Feder run for office, or Fetterman, or whatever his name is, run for office and have a chance at winning or actually win, is because you are in this anti-white morality, this anti-white narrative, where it doesn't matter how mentally challenged you are. In fact, being mentally challenged and anti-white, as long as you're not in any way, I guess, like if you're a white male, and what is this Fetterman? I don't even know. But if you're a white male and you're going to be out there, you have to have a long history of victimizing the white race, a very long history, and big promise of victimizing the white race in the future. And I dare say a lot that you're blackmailed on. But it's actually a mark in your corner if you are mentally challenged but anti-white. People are going to vote for that. They will vote for that. That's how, as long as you're anti-white, that's what you're up against. So you can't go about this resistance the way people have been going about it, and all of the variation of that effort to resist the infliction of harm by anti-whites. You just simply cannot continue down that path. It has to be radically different. Can it get any more obvious? JK160 is saying the guy starts off by saying good night. In the middle of being questioned, the corpse in chief, in the middle of being questioned about whether or not he's going to run again, he went to sleep in an interview. He was out, and the reporter had to say, Mr. President? Then he came to and fumbled through he and his wife are thinking important things or something like this. All right, JC Denton saying he could not super chat the words no white guilt. Williams says, I've noticed before that you have more people in chat than is recorded in terms of live viewers, for example. Yeah, I mean, this is hardcore Stasi shit these anti-whites are putting on. It would be great if, really great, if, and it's not impossible, Musk takes over Twitter and then he decides to create something to compete with YouTube. Because we could just move over there, at least until, in our viewership, at least until the censorship sets in there. It might be like YouTube when it got started, and you'll get the real numbers. Coconut is here. Great to see you, sister. There's the great Chopin. All right. Machiavelli Sucks is here. Ardent Party says, okay, I'm done over there. I'd rather be here. Oh, and the reporter had to wave at Biden to get his attention back. Junkies go on the nod the same way when they hit the wall. Great point. Yeah, he did. He was, because Biden had like that 10,000 mile stare right through the reporter. And it's entirely possible that he's on some hardcore drugs to keep him remotely lucid in like vacillating moments. Arden Party says, LOL, they're calling us trolls. I love it. Good. Because you're going to win folks away from that nonsense. Oh, J.M. Johnson says, I sent $5 on Odyssey. Thank you for telling me about that over here, brother. And let's see. It's not, I don't see it on my Odyssey. Did you get a confirmation? Let me see if it shows up anywhere. No, my latest was 9 days ago. It's showing over there. Try to leave a message over there as well on Odyssey. I'll check again. Thank you very much for that financial gift. Though I hope it comes through. Party says, we Newfoundlanders are a sneaky and a wily people. That's fantastic. We'll just have to make these love swarms more of like a thing when we stream, when we get together. We'll like maybe set aside some time. We'll all go over there. I'll go over. We'll just start hitting them up and say, hey, you're wasting your time over here. Do you want to come do something that's real? We are the people that these platforms don't want you to see and hear. We are those folks. Come to the party. Arden Party style. Come to the party. Thank you to everyone, sincerely, who have instantiated the love swarm. I'd love to see one of their people over there show right in their live chat. Yeah, I just checked them out. They're calling it a love swarm. I Love Western Kind says, I successfully sent the super chat message on the Oz Fetterman debate stream. Check it out. No White Guilt on YouTube after the stream. Yeah, thank you, brother. We saw that. Big salute to you, everybody. Promethean Promulgation says, we can still use No White Guilt without spaces. Promethean Promulgation is finding that if he doesn't put a space, it works in between the words. Victorian Time Traveler saying a millstone in the sea. J.M. Johnson saying, I mean, change my credit card. I don't know how to do that. Can you just delete the current one and then attach a new one? Do they enable you to do that? Does anybody know how to change your credit card on Entropy? And they could write that into the live chat, tagging J.M. Johnson before we get out of here. Maybe you just have to delete the credit card you have, and then you'll get the option to input a credit card. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Pearl Lady says, I really hope you're able to run for office someday. You'd be brilliant. Well, God bless you for that. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. We would definitely cause some waves. Cindy Ben is here. Great to see you. Hey, Hardwood Operator has shown up here and financially gifting $5. Or was that the... Did I misread that? $5 from Hardwood Operator. Thank you so much. Good, brother. I really appreciate it. Okay, J.M. Johnson, was that from Cash App? Wait a second, folks. We're just about to get out of here. Oops. Are we going to have another brief swarm, love swarm? Pierce Taylor is here. Don't do financial gifting. Everybody, you've all given more than enough. I appreciate every single no. Looks like we're not going to be doing any swarming because there doesn't appear to be a live chat. On YouTube. I was going to say, looks like Ramsey Paul show just went live. But looks like he doesn't have a live chat open, and he has this Power Chat live. I think Power Chat is the one that you should never use. Right? Because isn't Power Chat controlled by Nick Fuentes community? And then they get the names of everybody over there. They get your identity. Does somebody know? I'll check Odyssey again. No, brother. Maybe it's going to show up once the... Maybe it's going to show up once we're done here. I don't know. It's not showing up yet on Odyssey. Kip indeed, Arden Party. Franklin says, governor or president, no white guilt would be swell. Yeah, because then especially I'm going to bring all of you into the office. And we're going to dominate. Yeah, that Power Chat Live. Let me type it in to see if it looks right. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think this is it. This is the one. That community that was mocking and ridiculing Fuentes and their America First for those guys who had left America First, and they had those negative things to say about Fuentes and about America First. And they were having one of the means of financially gifting those people was Power Chat Live. And then they discovered that all of these Fuentes haters had given their billing information and all of that stuff on Power Chat Live. And Power Chat Live was being run and created and operated by a guy or several guys in the America First movement. So I would recommend that you don't use, or that you at least think twice about Power Chat Live. And if that's not the correct platform that happened, that information came to light about, then somebody can tell me. But it looks like that's it. It looks like that's the right one. So I guess you can, what Ramsey Paul has here is you can financially gift him over there, but there's no running live chat, I guess. I'm sure he has other means to financially gift him if you would like to, and you want to avoid that one. All right, folks. It's been an epic Jason Goes Political. We've had a lot of fun. Let's maybe do this. What do you all think about that? You can put it in the thread below. That maybe we can occasionally, or maybe more than occasionally, maybe every other week, or who knows, raid a live chat and do that. Have fun. Maybe several. Maybe some threads as well. That would be cool. So that when these people, when they wake up and when they look at it, they're like, holy God, what happened? How did this comment get like 100 likes and it's at the top? And yeah, we could do that. We could do that on Mark Dice's channel. I don't know how many likes any individual comment gets there, but if we all jumped over, liked a comment, drove it to the top, there likely would be other commenters that would give it a like. And who knows? But what we're going to do tonight, final thing before we wrap it up, is the action item. And that action item is right now, I have a Twitter and Gab open. And I am tweeting and gabbing at Keri Lake. And I say to her in this tweet and in this gab, I have a picture of her standing from that video that you all watched, where she's in front of the Black Voices for Keri Lake. And it says, Keri Lake, will you disavow your insult of white Americans? When you referred to us as just gringos, it was anti-white and hurtful. Hashtag be better than that. Hashtag anti-whiteism. I'm going to Artificer telling me about Cash App. I'll take a look. I'm going to tweet that right this second, and I'm going to gab it right this second. If you are on Twitter, retweet. If you are on Gab, regab. For those out there who can't be on Twitter or who can't be on Gab, be active doing other things. I was angry about those out there who just do nothing. And it would be very easy for them to have a Twitter or Gab and then just to retweet or regab. But those who are doing other things and they can't have one or whatever it might be, no worries. Everybody else, here it goes. On Twitter right now, bam, Keri Lake's going to get the message. Over there on Gab, bam, Keri Lake's going to get the message. She'll get the message. Her staffers will get the message. If we like and share, let's make noise. Let's make a lot of noise. Let's be disruptive in this community. Arden Party says, you are all welcome to raid my live chat anytime. That's cool. All right. Let me take a quick look over at Cash App. All right. The Artificer, the great Artificer has shown up over there. Financially gifting $10. Thank you so much, good sir. And with those $10 on Cash App, he says, pro tip, jumble letters and hashtags just as J4S0N K0HNE. So he's mixing these things up to get around the censorship. Thank you very much. He uses that successfully. Thank you very much for the financial gift and for that pro tip for everybody to help get past the censorship, get past the algorithms that are these traps that are laid in our path, walls that are built to prevent us from reaching our brothers and sisters. Hey, we're going to have actual trolls show up from time to time. But when they do, our troll slayers are the best. They will take them down. And otherwise, we stand a chance of getting a lot of more people to come in here, hear about the message, hear about the good work that we're doing, become a part of a change in our world. And as a consequence, get us to those objectives incrementally, much quicker on the path to the Western sunrise. Cindy Ben says, it posted about Jason and NWG and white erasure on Drone Tech's last video. I don't know who that is, but awesome. Thank you for that. Remember, folks, final action item of the evening. I just tweeted and just gabbed at Keri Lake. Please give that a like. Please retweet and regab and ask people in your circles to do the same so that we can make a difference. It is not bedtime, and it certainly wouldn't be able to go to bed when I'm this fired up, but it is far later than you know. Good night, America.